Welcome to another match preview where we look ahead to the latest attempt by the Stones to get that elusive first home league win of the season. The latest club trying to stop them are visitors, Hemel Hempstead. So before we look ahead to Saturday's game, we must reflect on Monday evening's action, Nigel. Here are the highlights first.
Yeah.
So as you can see there, gridlock meant game off and a sensible decision in the end by all concerned, Nigel.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think, although it was only just through the tunnel, wasn't it? I think it was just proper gridlocked all day and no one was going anywhere. So I don't think anyone would have really got there before, much before 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and it would just been too late. So again, it's not a great journey to travel, is it? So it just made sense for everybody to sort of postpone it and rearrange it later on in the season.
Exactly. And there's also a bit of an irony to that particular date as well, because it was 7 years to the day, of course, the abandonment of the game at Fylde as well that got rained off, but slightly less distance to cover this time and not the weather causing the problems on this occasion. So let's get in Tudor opponent's squad. Tudor is there. Never mind. So in goal, Craig King celebrated his 28th birthday earlier this week. He's in his 4th season at Hemel, formerly of Dartford and Oxford City. And James Holden is formerly of Reading and Welling, amongst many others. So Nigel, another side with a set number 1, and that helps breed confidence in front of him usually.
We've had many sort of good games in our National League South campaigns against Hemel Hempstead, haven't we?
Oh yes.
We touch on it towards the end of the video on like previous meetings and that, but yeah, and Craig King's been ever present in that. He's a good goalkeeper for this level. I think he's played at a higher level. I think he's played at Woking and amongst other clubs before. So he's always been a reliable shot stopper, and like you say, that just breeds confidence throughout the team when you've got somebody in your squad that you can rely on at the back and in goal.
In defence, Jack Davies joined from Banbury United in the summer. Teddy Howe signed from Weymouth ahead of the season, ex-Barnet and Scunny. In the latest instalment of ex-Stone against the Stones, it's Dan Wishart, who played over 50 times for the Stones before moving on to Wealdstone and Hapton and Richmond. He's now in his 2nd Hemel spell. Kyle Adjai is in his 5th season with the Tudors. Chris Smith joined from Kettering Town in the summer of 2023. Ben Tompkins joined from Braintree's playoff winning squad after last season. Kai Willard Innocent only missed 1 game for Havant last season before joining the Tudors in the summer. Sir Nigel, 1 or 2 familiar faces crossing the Stones' path once again.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all names that we've heard of, haven't we? We've played against them many times, and I think that was what's impressive about Hemel's recruitment policy in the summer. They've gone out and bought a lot of names that are familiar to not just themselves but to other teams in the league. They've bought what you call stalwarts, haven't they, in the league? And I guess their manager is a National League South, Bobby Wilkinson, isn't he? He's been around the block a few times, and he's managed Wealdstone at this level as well before, and he just knows the level, and again that just shows in the signings that he's made there. Defence is like we were saying with Craig King, he's your backbone, isn't he? And that shows in the signings. They're all experienced players.
So their midfield consists of Salim Akanbi. He was at Cambridge United from the age of 8. He made his Hemel debut just about 3 weeks or so ago after an injury setback that saw him out for 560 days. So from all of us here, it's great to see him back out playing. Bailey Brown is in his 3rd season with the Tudors. Jeffro Hansen joined from Hereford in the summer of 2023. Max Hemmings, something I've done to many pairs of trousers whenever I get the chance. He joined after 2 seasons at Weymouth. George Williams is also in his 3rd season with the Tudors. He's got caps for Wales on his resume, no less. Kyron Wiltshire had 4 years at St Albans before moving to Hemel this summer. So Nigel, it's not every day we come up against former international players at this level.
No, exactly, and he's a player that's made so many a nightmare, isn't he, George Williams? I mean, he scored that goal, didn't he, for when we was in the National League last time, Bournemouth I have on TV when it was that cross come shot and
Hi, Tom.
Tom, it was like grappling. He's like, one of those blooper moments, isn't it? But and then again, he scored here in the game here last season. That then they had that long injury layoff, didn't they? And stepped up and converted that free kick. So as I said, given many of Stones fans nightmares in the past.
So up front, we've got Brandon Barzay. He had time at Dartford last season. Alfie Caruli is in his second spell with the Tudors, having had some time at Billericay in between those stints. Trey Cook-Apaya has experience at Slough and Wealdstone. Ricardo German joined from Chesham after helping them get promoted to National League South last season. James Iachifano is in his second season with Hemel, with more than 50 goals at National League North and South clubs to his name. Sydney Ibby joined in the summer after he spent time at Aveley and Dagenham last season. Nathan Jetche from Hot Shots Part 2 of Exstone against the Stones. Curran Brown, he had 2 seasons at Hampton and Richmond before switching to the Tudors in the summer just gone. Owen McKeown even, we'll cut that bit hopefully, probably not. Owen McKeown's joined from Buxton ahead of the 24-25 season. So Nigel, yet another Stone returning, as well as some lower league goal machines there as well.
Yeah, exactly that. Do you know what I mean? It's like you look at that talent. Ricardo German, he was the hot property, wasn't he? He got the goals that got Chesham promoted basically last season, didn't he? And played in the FA Cup run against us, and once it was known that he was leaving, I think every National League South club was sort of like saying that they'd like to sign him, and Hemel did pick up that signing. Barsey, at Dartford, I think he gave us loads of, especially in that first half last year. I think we commentated on that league game, didn't we? And it was running up and down that wing. We said it on commentary at the time, didn't we? He's the old traditional winger, isn't he? He likes to, hug that byline and get the crosses in, and then you've got that Joe Icciano, I've never pronounced his name.
Yeah, you'll have fun pronouncing him on Saturday, won't you?
Exactly that. It's. I know I've done the Hemel commentary with Darren before, and he's one of his favourite players. He's one that he always looks out for, and that. So, again, it's just the whole squad. It's like we've just said. They've got a good sort of core squad that are National League South players. There's no, they all know their roles, and they are, a National League South team, isn't there? It's a traditional team. It's like we've been saying in previous weeks. We're now playing these teams that are, if you want to progress up the table, if you're serious about getting promotion, you need to get points against these teams. And we ideally in our situation now, we need to get the 3 points. It's not rocket science. We're not saying anything that's putting any undue pressure. It's probably pressure that the team's feeling itself.
Yeah.
It's not all doom and gloom, because that could be the story. Maidstone never do it the easy way, do they? We're looking at it. We go from 19th to promotion. At the end of October to promotion in May. All Stone's going to be rocking, and the Gallagher will be rocking again, won't it? So it's just like we said on Saturday after the Slough game when we did the Aveley preview. It's so congested in that mid-table now, and with our FA Cup run again, we're just getting, we've got a couple of games in hand on most of the teams, and if we win both those games in hand, we're literally a point outside the playoff. So, it's not doom and gloom, and that performance against Slough on Saturday, it's some of the best football I've seen down at the Gallagher for many a year. Do you know what I mean? I know Slough came with a game plan to set in and get a point, and they achieved that. So good luck to them. But some of the stuff that we was, the play that we were producing, and the crosses that we were getting in. The keeper had a weldy, the defence, were clearing off the line. It's one of those games, but you can't fault the effort of the team. It's there. It's just like. We just need to get that first win. I'm sure once we get that first win, we'll be flying. I've got no doubt about it. It's just we just need to keep remaining positive, and things will be fine.
So looking at their form, Hemel managed to play their game on Monday, so they did better than us in that regard. They hosted Chelmsford. They drew 2-2. They were 1-0 up early on, went 2-1 down either side of half time, and that man Etchefano levelled 20 minutes before the end, so they had moved from 6th into 3rd before Tuesday's raft of games, but that sent them back down to 5th in the end. But they haven't actually won since a win at Slough at the start of September, and they have actually lost their last 3 away games since that victory. So Nigel, Hemel are wounded, and they will be looking to turn their away form around here.
Yeah, of course they will. And it's like we've said, throughout the season, this is not saying anything that's not factual. Teams raise their game when they come to Gallagher.
Yeah.
We've just got to be wary of that. You can see it. You look at the highlight. I know, and when we're not doing the in-depth analysis like George and Craig and Zach and all the team are doing, you can see it. You watch the highlight videos, and you think, okay, we'll be fine. And then they come here and they literally up their level 2 or 3 notches, and that's what we're up against now. So it's just something that we've got to overcome. But I think the desire is there from the team. I mean, yes, they'll be wounded, and they'll probably come again. They might come to play out, and they come and sit in for a point. But I think we've got the talent in the squad now, and on the bench as well. I've said it before. The substitutes that we can bring on now, we've got a much better depth of squad, I think, than we've had for a few seasons. And I think once that gel happens, I just think we're just gonna fly. But it's just having that patience, isn't it? And it's just, I suppose, the same frustration that's in the squad that the wins not coming. It translates into the fans. It's like a like for like situation, isn't it? We've said it before. Again, that goal against Slough, we did so much good, and then just like one mistake, and we just seem to be getting punished for that one mistake that we get. And we're just not getting the rub with the referee decisions. All these little things that just add up, and but once that turns, I'm sure we've got the talent in the squad to do it. It's got to be about us now. You've got to be wary of these teams, and you've got to look at the teams and see what threats they pose as a management team. But you can now see that our style is starting to come out, and George has now got his team that he wants, and he's a few tweaks here and there, I'm sure, are still to come. But we're playing a certain style now, and it's just like, I'm sure the tie's going to turn eventually. Come on, it will.
So on the head-to-head ranks, some memorable clashes in the past. Us two and many of you out there look back fondly on that first game back after COVID. I know I do. I know the man behind the camera shed a few tears at my beautiful monologue. I remember that day. It was the title-winning season, of course, when that all kicked off back again. Quite fondly on most other recent clashes, frankly. Although saying that, we've already alluded to, the last 2 from last season have been 1-1 draws. But there were 5 wins from the other 6 in the last 8 games. And Nigel, say it quietly, but it is overwhelmingly positive record against the Tudors in recent years, which hopefully might do something on Saturday.
And also, there's always been goals in those games as well.
Yes,
plenty of them in Stone's favour as well. So hopefully we can use that as a motivation and have the game plan to actually get control of the game, and then run out comfortable winners, because that's what we all want. We want that sort of party atmosphere back again. It's like it was you're saying that first season, that first game back, and it definitely was a party atmosphere because everyone was just glad to be back. And then usually the return game was like literally right before the running, wasn't it? When we scored those 4 goals, and Jermaine Billen Williams with his twinkle toes, and he dancing around the box, and who can forget that? And he standing on the dugout wall, and giving it the big, and it was just great. It was just like that was the bonding that you got, and I'm sure those times are literally just around the corner.
So if you can't make it to the game on Saturday, be sure to tune in to Darren Stiles and the man next to me from 2:30 on Stones Live. You'll see them on the hot take, and then hear them on the highlights once they go online a few hours after the game. So a quick word on the Welling match and the Kent Senior Cup game before we go here. We shall be broadcasting from Parkview Road on Tuesday at 7:30. Be myself and Darren Stiles with that one there for you. Nigel, some fond memories from last season's competition, of course, and the Stones trying to bag trophy number 20, perhaps.
Successful Kent club in the competition, aren't we? So, it's just, I think it depends on what squad you put out and what team you put. I mean, most sort of clubs just fit the fixturing around their sort of other fixtures, don't they? But Yeah, it's just early days, isn't it? You just give the squad a run out and see where we go.
So Welling last made the final in 2017, just over there actually, out on the pitch, losing 2-0 to Dover. They last won it in 2009 at their own ground at Welling. That was a 6-1 win against Whitstable Town. And talking of the Welling game, we bring it up for several reasons. It will now be George's 100th match in charge of the Stones as well. So he joins the likes in recent years of Human Walker, Saunders, Hakan, with and without John Still, of course, in that century club. And that's a great achievement, Nigel.
Yeah, he is. And he's continued that tradition, hasn't he? He's brought good times to Maidstone, and it hasn't quite transcended to league form yet, but he's the cup king, isn't he? Literally.
Yes,
his record in both the FA Trophy and the FA Cup is second to none. No other manager has done what he's done. So hats off to George, and long may it continue.
Here's to the next 100. So the Stones are still 7 unbeaten after a lack of a match on Monday night, so a bit longer than expected to wait for their next match, traffic permitting of course, this Saturday. The Stones will look to extend their run to 8 with the first home league win of the season. Here's hoping again. So thanks as always for watching the latest preview. Like and subscribe. See you for our next preview ahead of the Solihull FA Cup game. And as always, come on
you Stones!